Hello guys, I'm JJPasak and this is my first video for Good Gaming. This video will feature some of the hidden features and bugs of Gwent. The first one is quite simple, most of the people already know about it. It is the queue timer. When you enter a queue, the game is trying to find you an opponent that is within 200 MMR points away from you. Well, at a certain point, which is 30 seconds, when it reaches 30 seconds, it stops searching for only opponents that are 200 MMR away from you and will increase its search range further. When that happens, you might actually get games that are very unbeneficial for you, because if you get an opponent that is, let's say, 500 MMR below you, you actually gain 0 points for winning and you lose 100 points for losing. At some very crazy scenarios, you might actually get an opponent that is so much below you that you actually even lose points for winning. So be careful about that. Definitely when you play on high ladder, you definitely don't want the queue timer to actually go above 30 seconds and use it to your advantage. The next feature is more complicated. It is about banishing units. Banishing is a mechanic in Gwent currently. It means that when the base strength of the minion goes to 0, it actually won't move to graveyard and is completely removed from the game. This third example features a buffed Priscilla, buffed by the buffer. And it will get Cyprian Willy, which is a unit that reduces the base strength of the unit by 3 points. The Priscilla only loses 2 points because Priscilla's base strength is 2 and it is buffed by 4 points, so it actually doesn't deal 3 entire damage. Now we actually want to use a decoy that is probably a bug. I don't think it's a wrong bug, it's probably just badly written. It says return a non-gold, non-relentless unit on your side to your hand, add 3 to its base strength and immediately play it again. In this sentence there is not a use word then, which means all of these things should happen simultaneously, but as we'll see they won't, because first the Priscilla goes into hand, then it gets added 3 base strength, but since the Priscilla is actually 0 base strength, it gets banished. You lose your decoy, you lose your Priscilla, and your turn is over. Probably not the best thing that can happen to you, so be careful about that. Another example of, I guess it's a bug, if you use a Kainan or Necros, you have 2 Necros left in the deck. When you eat the first Necro, the game recognizes you just ate a 3 base strength Necro with 1 buff. If you eat a Necro next to that, the same goes for it, except it has 5 strength. But now your previous Necro gets buffed to 1 and the game allows you to eat the first Necro again, and now the game recognizes this is a 0 base strength Necro that has 1 buff. So when you actually do that, you banish the Necro and the Necro doesn't actually spawn other Necro. So as you'll see, we'll get only 1 Necro from the second one. The first one won't spawn another Necro. As you can see, it got banished, it's not in the graveyard, it's out of the game. This definitely has to be a bug, because there can be a scenario where you have only 2 Necros on board and you can play only Kairan. The game actually forces you to eat the both Necros. The only scenario where you actually want to eat a Necro twice is when you don't have any more Necros left in the deck and it actually gives you that 1 sweet extra strength for your Kairan. Probably not so worth though. And the last example, again, same thing as before. This time it's gonna be a Cyprian Willy on buffed Necro. As you can see, this time he reduces 3 strength because Necro is originally 3 base strength. And since the Necro is 0 base strength currently, it won't actually spawn another Necro because it doesn't move to the graveyard. It is removed from the game. So that is how banishing works. And we go to the last topic, which is probably the most complex one, and it's gonna be Mulligan. The Mulligan event is quite interesting and it features 2 features, I guess. I would rather call the other one a bug. So the first one is Blacklist Mulligan. Most of you probably know that already, but it basically means if you mulligan a bronze card, or respectively a card that has more instances of it in your deck, you can no longer draw the same card again. I'll show it on the example right away. So in this scenario, let's say you usually want to draw most golds and silvers, therefore you do want to blacklist as much bronze cards as possible. Therefore you probably started at the first slide. You have 1 in the hand and 2 left in the deck. If you mulligan this away, these cards are no longer drawable, and your draw is going to be the Scorch. Let's say the next one you mulligan is gonna be the Mercenary. That's gonna be your second mulligan. If you mulligan the Mercenary, you can no longer draw this Mercenary from your deck, therefore you actually draw the Dragoon. Well, and in the third scenario, let's say we blacklist the Dragoon, we actually still draw the Alzur Sandra, right? Because it actually blacklisting this Dragoon doesn't do anything. So in this scenario we draw Scorch, Dragoon and Alzur Tundra. Since you blacklist 1 out of 3 bronzes at the start of your mulligan, you increase the chances of drawing a silver or gold by quite a huge margin, as you can see. The other feature is so-called mulligan bug. We're gonna do it on more theoretical example. Let's say we're playing Nilfgaard, yet we have these 3 cards that are not even Nilfgaard cards, but you can imagine, we're playing Nilfgaard. The reason why we're playing Nilfgaard is because in round 2 and round 3 you can actually mulligan one of the cards away before the round starts. So let's say we have these 3 cards left in the deck. We want to get rid of this archer right here. The King of Beggars is the card that you're going to draw instead of the archer. We know that, because he's on the top of the 3 cards, right? Well, if you draw another card in that round, how likely it is it's going to be the archer? Well, most of you are probably going to say 33%. It's gonna be 1 out of 3. Well, it's not. It's actually 50%. Why is that? Because the archer that's being mulliganed can not just land here, here, and here, which are basically the 3 spots that you would expect. It can also land here. Therefore, the archer has double the chance to actually end at the top of your deck, which means 50% to top deck it, while the other 2 have 25%. So this is the last thing I wanted to show you today. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you at the next video. Have a nice day.